Today, our wishes finally came true, something that haters said would never happen in Mortal Kombat 1. And to make things even better, Cyrax has become available to purchase separately. So if you wanted to play the most overpowered character in the game without having to buy the Chaos Reigns bundle, then good news. And of course, the other characters like Sector and the Noob Saibot will soon be available for purchase as well. However, something really interesting happened after the update that definitely foreshadows a story mode part 3. So of course we gotta talk about that too, because another day means more Mortal Kombat 1 news. I'm covering it all the time on this channel, so if you want to stay up to date, then make sure to subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss any future videos. And then after watching, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like down below, it helps the channel out a ton. And without any further ado, let's begin after a very special sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Phobies, a tactical card collecting game where players duel one another in a surreal realm of the subconscious, where the most ridiculous fears manifest, summon terrifying phobies, and use devious attacks to unleash a dazzling array of attacks to achieve victory. My favorite aspect of this game is definitely the art style. It takes me back to the Newgrounds days where everything was gross and goofy and most importantly hand-drawn. But then the gameplay is also fun and you're also unlocking free stuff all the time. I think in just 1 hour of playtime I unlocked 20 different things, which was awesome. Not to mention the game is a brain teaser. It requires strategy and not just brute force. You gotta control the board, not just kill the enemy's monsters, and you can even attack their heart directly, which remind me of Yu-Gi-Oh! When you attack the life points directly. There's 3 different ways to win the match, which I find super interesting because at any point during the game you can change up how you want to actually achieve victory. You can actually play 10 different games at once, but for me 3 games was more than enough to keep me occupied. But I'm just saying, if you want to play 10 matches at once, you can do that in Phobies. There's also 4 different game modes too. There's async battles, arena battles, the challenges mode, and the frenemies battles. Every mode is super fun and presents a different type of play, which is awesome. Yeah, this game is crazy fun. I enjoy Phobies for the art style, the gameplay strategy involved, and even the horror monsters are just so fun and creative. So what are you waiting for? Download Phobies and try it out for yourself today. Use my link down below in the pinned comment or video description. The game is completely free to play and also tons of fun. I recommend it. Alright, and back to the video. Starting off with a fan favorite costume that players have wanted for a very long time, and I'm not just talking about for Mortal Kombat 1. Nope, players have been requesting this costume ever since Mortal Kombat X, and now finally, after long last, it's available for players to use, and that's the Melina Deception skin, a fan favorite to be sure. And if I told you that players were excited about this new costume, that would be an understatement. In fact, one of the grossest understatements in history. Because not only is everybody happy this costume returned, but it's being treated like a DLC character's release. And I'm not joking, everybody everywhere is talking about this costume, and almost every single tweet on Twitter, every post on Reddit is getting tons of upvotes because that's how excited players are. It really does feel like a brand new character came to the game. That's how much excitement there is everywhere online over this costume. It really is a much bigger deal to players than outside gamers might realize. If you're a Street Fighter fan or a Tekken fan, you might not get why everyone loves this costume returning so much, but if you're a longtime Mortal Kombat fan, then you understand how cool it is to finally have a costume like this in a modern Mortal Kombat game. Because keep in mind, many players were worried that this would never happen, and this costume would never be added to the game officially, and instead players would have to rely on mods if they ever wanted to wear this costume in Mortal Kombat 1. And that's because the more recent games made by NetherRealm Studios, and honestly just Western games in general, are getting more and more conservative with their costumes, and as a result players did worry this costume for Melina would never return. And yet here it is. Despite all odds, the Melina costume has made it into Mortal Kombat 1, and for some players it's just a nice addition to the game. We've wanted this costume for a while and we're happy to wear it. However, some players think this might be signs of change, not just for NetherRealm but just Western game developers in general, because just check out this tweet from Overwatch, and it's the official Overwatch Twitter account, and they posted a thirst trap. That's right, like straight up they knew what they were doing with this post. It is straight up kinky material, and it's from the official Overwatch account, which I just find hilarious and a bit of a coincidence, right? We get this really amazing costume for Mortal Kombat 1, and then Overwatch goes and makes a video like this for their new costume, right? I think the winds might be changing in the Western game studios, but at the same time, it's too early to say. I already purchased this costume with Dragon Crystals. I did not spend any real money. I was farming over the double XP weekend. So if you want my honest review of this Melina costume, it looks quite fantastic. The back of the outfit is not true to the original, but still looks okay. Overall, the Melina costume is very faithful faithful to the original design from Mortal Kombat Deception, with some subtle changes here and there to make it look a bit more modern and practical, which seems to be unavoidable in the modern day for most fighting games. The classic costumes always have some subtle changes to them for whatever reason, but overall the costume looks very good. And when it comes to the color palettes, they are hit or miss. I like about 3 or 4 of the color palettes overall, and honestly I'm a bit upset that Kitana's colors are not here, because she also wore this outfit in Deception. Despite not being playable, she was still in the story mode and in several arcade ladder endings, which is why it would have been really cool if Mileena had a blue color palette option for this skin as well, just as a reference to Kitana in Deception. That would have been really cool. My final verdict for this costume is a 9 out of 10. It is almost perfect. I'm not a fan of the subtle changes here and there to the outfit, and it's missing some color palettes that I would have liked to see, but overall an incredible package. Honestly, I'm just happy that NetherRealm listened to the players and gave us a costume that we've been requesting for a very long time, because even if you're not a fan of costumes like this in Mortal Kombat, I think we can all agree at the end of the day, it's always good to be pro-consumer and include things that players want, especially if it's been in prior games. And for me personally, if I could request any other classic costumes from the older games, I want Shaolin Monk's Kitana. That outfit is amazing. Honestly, every costume in Shaolin Monks is fire. Even Smoke's outfit looks incredible in that game. So if anybody at NetherRealm Studios is watching this video, go to Shaolin Monks for inspiration, because that game has so many incredible costumes for the men and women. So put some of those in Mortal Kombat 1. That's my advice. But alright, next up, let's talk about these separate characters finally being available for purchase. If you hop on Twitter, then you can see on the official Mortal Kombat 1 page, Cyrax, Sector, and the Noob Saibot are now all finally available for separate purchase. Or in other words, you don't have to drop $40 or $50 on the Chaos Reigns bundle to play these characters anymore. Instead, you can purchase them separately. So if you just want to play Noob Saibot, and I know many of you watching are in that exact same boat, then good news. Today, you can finally buy Noob Saibot separately. And for anybody else watching who wanted to play as Cyrax or Sector without having to buy the entire bundle, that option is now available for you too as well. In fact, you can now buy all 3 of these characters if you want to, and it's only going to be around $24 instead of the $40 or $50 for the entire Chaos Reigns bundle. Now the downside, of course, is you don't get the story mode and you don't get all the costumes as well. I think there's 12 costumes in total that are brand new in the Chaos Reigns bundle, but the good news is if you play Towers of Time often and get the top 10% or top 5%, you can actually get these costumes for completely free. Now with that said, a fair warning, I've been told it's no easy task to get the top 10% or 5% anymore, and that's because there's more way to earn points than there was just a couple of weeks ago. Originally, the only way to get points was to do the daily challenges and the weekly challenges, but now doing any of the towers also gives you points. So players are grinding those day and night to make sure they maintain that top 5% spot, which means for the more casual players, it's gonna get tougher and tougher to get into that top 5% and get your costumes for free. Today's video was not meant to cover the Towers of Time, but here we are. It's honestly a very fun mode, a great way to level up characters, and also a great way to get these costumes for free if you play Mortal Kombat 1 enough already. Oh, and real quick, it's worth mentioning the Chaos Reigns bundle is the only way to get the guest characters at the moment. I imagine in the future, down the line, they are going to be available for separate purchase, so if you just want Ghostface or the T-1000, or you're a diehard Conan fan who just wants that character, then I'm guessing that option is going to be available to you. Now, it's not guaranteed, but I'm just guessing that it probably will be. You're just gonna have to wait a bit though, like maybe a month or 2 months before you can play your desired character, because keep in mind, the guest characters are not going to launch at the same time like the main characters did, right? Sector, Cyrax, and Noob all came out on the same day, but Ghostface is going to launch by himself either at the end of October this month or sometime November next month, and then a month later, maybe 2 months later, we're going to get the T-1000 or Conan. You get the idea, so just keep that in mind. If you want to play these characters in the next couple of months, then you do want to get the Chaos Reigns bundle, otherwise you can't play these characters until many months down the road. Alright, but now real quick, let's talk about Story Mode Part 3, because in the Chaos Reigns update, there are some very interesting intro dialogues between certain characters, like this new intro with Kitana that talks about a new power that lets her rival her sisters, to which Kitana responds, "Good thing we aren't ones." Yeah, bad grammar aside, I'm not sure what Kitana is saying here. Are Kitana and Mileena not actually sisters in Mortal Kombat 1? What if they're actually from different timelines? Do you think it's possible that Liu Kang did some shenanigans there? Because if not, I have no clue what this intro dialogue is trying to imply, because the grammar is just that bad. But also, what's this new power with Katana? What power-up did Katana get? We don't see any of that in Story Mode Part 1 or the Chaos Reigns story expansion. So what happened to Katana that gave her a power-up and now she rivals Melina's power? Literally nowhere in the game is this discussed, not even in the arcade ladder ending. So once again, I think this intro dialogue is teasing Story Mode Part 3 and honestly could be included by accident by the developers. I don't think this dialogue is meant to be in the game yet. In other words, it sounds like a spoiler that was not meant to be in the game yet, and there's one more intro dialogue just like this. But this time, it's talking about capturing Noob Saibot, which once again does not happen in the Chaos Reigns expansion, at least not in this manner. So what are the characters talking about in this intro? I think they're talking about Story Mode Part 3, which could mean, like before, the developers left something in that they weren't supposed to, and now we know for certain that Story Mode Part 3 is going to happen, or at the very least is planned by the developers. They made Story Mode Part 2 with the intention of a Story Mode Part 3, which does make sense since the Chaos Reigns expansion story did not have a very definitive ending, right? Nothing was conclusive, which is why many players, myself included, already suspected that there was going to be a Story Mode Part 3, but now with these new intro dialogues, I'm all but certain we're going to get another story expansion. But as you all know, I love making these videos interactive, so let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you think we're going to get a Story Mode Part 3? How do you feel about this new Melina skin? And are you happy that individual characters are now available for purchase in Mortal Kombat 1? Let me know any and all of your thoughts in the comments because, like I say in every video, I truly love reading each and every comment. So grab that keyboard and make your voices heard. Another day means more Mortal Kombat 1 news. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like down below. It helps the channel out a ton. And then finish that combo by subscribing and ringing that bell so you never miss any future videos. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.